Hi, welcome back into my channel. I'm Melinda Baena and I'm with Remax Elite, the Latchkey team. And today I wanted to do a new lender spotlight. I recently had a transaction with Trim from Evergreen Home Loans, and she did a great job. And so there was an issue at the end of our transaction where unfortunately, there was some vandalism to the home before we closed, and Amy was able to get it closed anyway and did early, yes. And she was able to do a lender certification for us with the underwriting. So I wanted her to explain that a little bit, if people aren't familiar with what that is, because not every lender has the ability to do that. And then in getting to know her through the transaction, she also introduced me to some new products that Evergreen Home Loan offers that are unique, and I really wanted to share that with my clients and kind of spread the word on some of those things. So yeah, so first I wanted Amy to kind of introduce herself and give us some background on you and like how long you've been in the business and with Evergreen, or whatever you'd like to share.
Okay, awesome. I'm Amy Trim. I am with Evergreen Home Loans. I'm a loan officer and sales manager for our Everett, Washington branch, and I've been lending now for 26 years. So been around the block a few times. I've worked at different types of lenders, and I train loan officers, compliance, all that fun stuff. But I'm just really passionate about numbers and helping people make loans and numbers fun. I'm a total math geek, so this is the perfect job for me. I'll never be bored.
Yeah.
I plan on retiring when I'm 100. So.
Okay. Wow. That's a lofty goal.
Yes, yes. I actually, like I said, I worked at multiple different types of lenders, and when I came to Evergreen about 5 years ago, it was really obvious things were done differently. So that was a big deciding factor to switch.
And didn't you tell me that the owner, the person that started it, was a real estate broker?
Yes, he was, and he just was frustrated with the mortgage industry, kind of derailing sometimes transactions because they weren't making or they weren't make sense lending decisions. And so he decided to start a new mortgage company and hired the best out there, and that would all follow his vision of being streamlined and focus on helping people buy homes, because that's how you can change your life, is through home ownership. So
Absolutely.
He knew that, and he's like, there's got to be a better way. So yeah.
Great. So now tell me about what lender certification is.
Yes. So in situations where somebody's buying a home, they're getting a mortgage, we're going to do an appraisal. That appraiser goes out and determines the value is there that they're purchasing it for. And they want to make sure that it's not a home inspection. So they're not going to check all the door handles and windows like a home inspector does, but they're going to use their eyes. They're going to use their common sense, and they're looking for obvious red flags, blue tarps on the roof, that kind of stuff. And this particular lender or appraiser came out to the home right before closing just to verify something, and found that it had been vandalized. And it was, I have been lending a while, and this is the first time that's ever happened. So, freak things happen. The appraiser, can't be liable and make claims of, oh, this is, damaged and safety issues, or it's not. He's just pointing out the fact of what happened. So I contacted my underwriter and I explained, the situation. We escalated it to the underwriting manager, and she's like, wow, this has never happened to me either.
Lucky us.
Yes. So I said, well, how can we make sure that the lender's protected by still buying a home that is sound, but at the same time still be able to move forward if the buyers want to? And they did. So, they let me, as a loan officer, go out and do a certification to verify that the home was still sound and safe. So there was no, damage that was gonna, interfere with them living there. And so we looked at the guidelines for that loan program, and I went out and took photos, inspected myself, the situation of what happened and was able to provide a lender cert or a lender certification from for the loan file, stating that yes, there was damage done, but it was not extensive enough to prevent us from being able to close on the loan, and that the seller and the buyer were working out an arrangement to resolve the damage,
the compensation
for that, and that was it. They, it was just very, hey, let's just use our common sense here. So, and that's what we were able to do. I've had other situations where we were able to do lender certs before, in not vandalism situations, but in that the hot water tank isn't double strapped, or the CO detectors are missing. Some obvious items like the handrail sometimes is loose and needs to be tightened, or something like that. So I've been able to do that before for clients.
So instead of the appraiser coming back out, you were
Instead
able
of
to
the
do
appraiser.
that. Okay.
Now there's certain items that the appraiser has to come back out for, but in with some lenders and some loan officers with my level of experience, we are able to do a lender cert.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So now let's go into those other two programs
Yes.
that I alluded to.
Yes. So we, the owner for Evergreen Home Loans, he was a realtor. He lives in Seattle, and he just saw a big need to help our buyers. We had so many pre-approved buyers just desperate to buy homes. And it was like, okay, what can we do as a lender to think outside the box? So we were the first lender in our area to come up with a cash offer program as an alternative to somebody buying that is using a mortgage. So we have a couple options. One is for if somebody has their own 10% down payment, we pre-approve them and we send them through underwriting. So it's pre-underwritten before they go out home shopping. And we've looked at everything about them, their credit, their income, their assets, their employment, the whole 9 yards. And we are so confident in sending them home shopping that we're able to back up their offer and saying, hey, we can close in as little as 10 days. And we're guaranteeing that we can close in that time frame. They can waive their financing contingency, their home inspection, the appraisal contingency, everything. We just need to make sure that the appraiser does have access to the home, but as the buyer's agent, you would just put something along the lines of it's for access only for the lender, has nothing to do with the value or anything like that. It's not a contingency. So we just need to be able to get access because we are giving them a loan after it's all said and done. So that program is called Fast as Cash. And again, it's a super quick closing because we've done all that work in the pre-approval ahead of time. And there's two ways we can go about it. Because we can also close a loan in 10, 12, 15 days. I've done that many times over the last year. We can close with just a loan. But if we can't get our act together and close the loan in time for the closing date, then Evergreen Home Loans is buying it in cash. And we are giving them the loan separately, regardless of the appraisal.
So for me, as the agent writing the offer on behalf of that
buyer,
and it's like a cash offer, we don't have to include a financing contingency.
Nope.
So what happens if, I know you've done all the checking on the client and everything, but what if it comes down to the end of it and there is an issue, like they lose their job or something like that? Do you still guarantee that you will? So then what happens then if in that horrible situation that they lose their job, the buyer's not financially able to pay that mortgage, then they
pay us their monthly payment until they can find a new job.
Okay, so Evergreen Home Loans just carries that loan then. So is it a private loan then through Evergreen Home Loans? So you don't sell it on the secondary market?
Correct. We call it a portfolio loan.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, then tell me about the other option.
The other one is very similar. Yes, it's very similar, but instead of somebody having their own 10% down payment, it's for somebody who has a lot of equity sitting in their current home, and that's where their down payment's coming from.
So they wouldn't be like a contingent buyer. They'd have to sell their house in
Correct.
order to buy the next house. And in a really competitive buyer's market, those offers typically aren't accepted unless the house has been on the market for more than at least a week, usually longer.
Yes, usually longer. So it is an alternative to a contingent offer. So what we do is we again get them pre-approved ahead of time, and we perform an appraisal on their current home to confirm what is the value really. And then we make sure that the value is there. We take enough of a down payment out of the equity, called a bridge loan, for the purpose of the down payment on the home purchase. So once we do that appraisal on their current home and pre-approve them, then they go home shopping with you. You make a 15-day close offer and make sure that the appraiser has access to the home for the new home, and we close in cash a portfolio loan, and then they have 4 months to sell their current home, and then we do a takeout loan at the very end. So there is actually 3 loans: the bridge loan, which is just enough to take out 10% plus closing costs; the portfolio purchase.
What if the buyer has that 10% down? Would they need that bridge loan?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, sorry, continue.
No, that's a great question. So we still allow it if they have their own 10% down.
Okay.
And so we don't have to qualify them for any of the payments on the bridge loan or the portfolio purchase loan. The only thing we qualify them for is on that final loan. After they sell that home, which we've already verified how much they could sell it for, and then they can put their proceeds down and buy their loan down to wherever they want. They can add some extra funds in if they want a really low loan amount, or they can just use as much of the equity, the net proceeds out of the sale as they want.
Yeah. Sounds like an amazing program.
It is. The catch on the fastest cash, it's to purchase a home that's not an attached condo or manufactured home.
Okay.
Okay, so detached condos are fine, single family homes are fine, 1 to 4 units are fine.
Okay.
On the step up, they do have to have a minimum credit score of 680 or higher.
Okay.
Because that bridge loan, we want to make sure that we're sound there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they can buy whatever they want on that one.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
You're
explaining the
welcome.
difference. And there's a lot of nuances to the programs.
Yes.
And so if you have any questions about it, you can reach out to me, and I'll put you in touch with Amy. I will also link her contact information in the description below, so you can reach out to her. And we would love to help you get into a new home.
Yes.
So thanks so much again, Amy,
Thanks
for
for
joining
having
me
me.
today. All right. Bye-bye.